Oh, hey. So welcome back. I am Courtney and this is the Accounting Struggle. Thank you for joining me again. So this is a very impromptu video. But before we get into it, I just want to say, go ahead, like always, go to theaccountingstruggle.com. If you haven't already, check out the new content, see what's new that you might have missed, or if you're brand new here, sign up so that you can stay up to date and you can not miss out on anything. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and get into it today. So basically, today I'm going to be talking about my CPA journey thus far. Whew, child. What a journey it's been. So I didn't prepare anything. I haven't even written this in blog form yet because, I'm busy. But I wanted to do this video today because I know that scores came out today and this could either be a really great day or a really terrible day. I've experienced both, so I know how both feel. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about like how the CPA journey has been for me personally. I've officially sat for all 4 sections. The first one that I took was audit. And then I took reg, passed both of those. Then I took FAR and kept failing it, and reg and audit expired. So then I had to start from scratch. Finally passed FAR, took BEC, failed it, and then failed it again, and then failed it again, and again, and again, and again. Found out today that I finally passed BEC, the easy one. So I finally passed that. So now I have 2 in. And the other 2 expired, so I'm going to have to retake those. But I've officially sat for every single section and passed every single section, so I know what they all look like. Seen them all. I've seen it all, and I've done it all to the full. So basically, this journey has been really, really, really horrible for the most part. I've hated it so much. I've hated every single second of it. It's been dreadful. And many tears. And yeah, it's been a journey. But basically, the hardest section, I would have to say, a lot of people say BEC is the easy section. I beg to differ. BEC was the hardest for me in terms of passing it. FAR is most certainly the most difficult section. So we'll start with FAR. So FAR is financial, what's the A? Something in regulation. I should know this by now. Financial accounting and reporting. Financial accounting and reporting is FAR. And it's 10 chapters. And it's all of your, like, basically those classes that are like intermediate accounting classes. All of your journal entries and revenue recognition. And, oh, God, they throw everything in there. Like, nonprofit, governmental. That class wasn't even offered at my college. So seeing it for the first time was when I saw it on the CPA exam. So there's like 3 chapters of that, and then there's just a lot of other stuff. It's all the stuff like the difference between like GAAP and tax income. Like there's so much to remember. So the reason why FAR is difficult is because there's just so much information. It's kind of like a joke. Like, you really think I'm gonna remember all this? And eventually you can. So what I would say is, for your CPA journey, you just have to make sure that you realize that it is your journey. So for me, I kind of went into it expecting to do well on every single section, pass each one on the first try, because I really thought that would sound lit. Like, oh, what? Like, it's hard. I took all 4, passed them on the first try, and I really wanted to be able to say that because I'm like so focused and so driven. So I just thought that would be enough to take me into it, and finding out that it didn't, and failing and feeling what that felt like was horrible and humbling. And I was like, what's happening? I don't understand. I don't fail stuff. What is this? So it was a new thing for me, but I think that you just have to keep in the back of your mind, if you are going into this and you've never done any type of like big exam certification, even if you have, it's not the CPA, so it really doesn't matter. Nothing is like the CPA except for the CPA. So you just have to keep in mind, like, this is your journey. So whatever somebody else who maybe did the exact same things as you, maybe you got better grades than them, it doesn't matter. Like, comparison is gonna completely throw you off course. So you should just let that go. Going into it, just know that this is your journey. However many times it takes you, or if you pass on the first try, that's great, but just understand that your journey is your own. That's the key element of this. And also, you just have to be in it win it. You have to start with the end in mind. I know that sounds cheesy. People always say that, but you have to go in it knowing, like, my goal is to be a CPA. My goal is to be a CPA. The goal is always to pass, obviously. So, how you get there in the process has a lot more to do with whether or not you'll be successful. Just gonna plug this book, Atomic Habits, I think is the name of it. It's a phenomenal book. Everybody should read it. It talks about the difference between everybody sets goals, not everybody achieves them, because the habit is what separates people from actually being able to win, all that good stuff. Go read it, whatever. I don't know the author's name. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's a really good book. I read it after I failed a few times, so it was kind of too late then. But basically, you have to start with, I know I'm going to be a CPA. This is how I'm going to get there. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to keep taking this as many times as I need to. If that is your goal and you are about to start taking the CPA exam, you really just have to keep that in the back of your mind, because you are going to want to give up. Like that, that is just, yeah, that's a common theme that's going to happen in your mind if you don't have success, or even if you are successful the first time. Once you get to that third exam or that fourth exam, you're so over it. You're so tired of missing out on all of the fun activities. You're tired of studying. You feel like, I just went through all this college, I just went through this master's program, and why is my life still studying? I don't understand. I can't even tell you how many events I missed. I couldn't even go to dinner with my husband for his birthday because I was like, I have to study because my exam is Monday. So that's just life for me. So I would say the thing that has really kept me on this path is just knowing that I'm going to be a CPA. If you know that in the back of your mind, then you're not going to relent. You're not going to be willing to accept failure as the final, like, okay, well, maybe this just isn't for me. Lies. Girl, of course it's for you. What are you doing? Of course. Stop playing. Get your life together. Take a day or two and get back on it. When I found out that I failed BEC and FAR, I found out about both of those on the same day, and it was like, okay, so here's what happened. So I had the first two passed, and I needed to pass FAR and BEC the end of December 2017, I think. Yeah, the end of December 2017. It was that December that I took both of them, and I was getting my scores back, and I was like, I have to pass because it's about to be busy season. I'm not going to be able to study from now until April of 18, and by then the other two will have expired, so I have to pass. Like, if I don't pass, my life is over. I'm gonna have to start from scratch. It's gonna be terrible. I'm getting married next year because I was getting married in 18, and I was like, my life is gonna fall apart. I can't let this happen. So I checked my scores. I knew I failed. I knew. Like, you know when you're not passing. So I knew that it wasn't good. When I was taking the test, it didn't feel like I was passing because I was I was guessing for so many of the questions. But I was hopeful. So I checked my scores like 4 a.m. Just woke up in the middle of the night, checked them, failed both. I was like, okay. And I just like kind of sat there for like at least 45 minutes just staring into space, and then I was able to finally like let it sink in that I had failed and that my life indeed was over. So I called my parents. I think it was literally 4 o'clock in the morning still. I called my mom and I couldn't even breathe. I was crying so hard. I was like, Mom, I failed BC and reg. Oh, not reg, whatever. I failed both of my exams. And she was just like, oh, Court. And my dad was in the background, and they were just like trying to comfort me and talk me down off the ledge, the mental ledge that I was on. I just was like, this is just so terrible. I can't believe I failed. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be getting married next year. I can't be focused on studying. My life is just, I can't believe this is happening. It was really terrible. But everybody tried to comfort me. They were like, you're still smart. Don't let this define you. You're going to be fine, whatever. So I cried for about a week straight. I was very depressed. I felt like I had let everybody down. Everybody who was rooting for me, like, girl, we're praying for you. Like, they had my name on the prayer list at church. Like, it was it was a big deal. And I failed. Not just one, but two. And now I have to start from scratch. Like, I went from being halfway there to having nothing pass. And I knew that everybody at work was going to be like, so how'd it go? Did you check your scores today? So I had to face people at work and tell them, like, even though I've been taking PTO and studying, like, I didn't pass. So it just felt like, it happened to me. Like, it happened to me. And I just saw it in all the negative ways. Like, it was just the worst thing ever. But eventually I got over it. And I was like, you know what, girl, you have been starting over your whole life. Like, it's not that serious. I started over with college because my school lost accreditation and I had to start over for that. And I got through that and that was fine. So I just decided that I wasn't going to allow that to be the end of the story. Like, oh, I almost became a CPA. Like, that's trash. I'm not telling that story. That's not what I'm going to tell my grandkids. So no. So I just made the decision to keep going. And I'm really glad that I did, because I ended up taking FAR again. And I took it, like, I don't know, right after that busy season of 18. I took it probably in like September. And the first time I took it, I wasn't even close. I got a 58. I knew I wasn't close. Like, I didn't know any of the stuff on there. It was horrible. So the second time I took it, I got a 68. So most people would be like, oh my God, this just isn't for me. I failed again. Me, I saw that as, oh, I had a 10% increase. Like, that's great. If I can do that one more time, I'll pass. So I took it again 2 weeks before my wedding. And it was like a month after having just taken it. It was still fresh in my mind. I knew what I needed to improve on. I just needed a little bit more study time. Took it again and I got a 77. Boom. That's all I need. I don't need to kill it. I just need to pass. So yeah, so I got a passing score on FAR, and that was like the best thing ever, because FAR is the hardest one. Everyone told me I should have started with FAR and I didn't, because I was just like, no, I'm gonna blaze my own trail, and it was a terrible idea. I should have started with FAR and I didn't. But anyway, I passed that and got that out the way, thankfully. And so then it was on to BEC, and this was my second time taking BEC. The first time I took it, I got a 68, I think, a 68. And then the second time I took it, I got a 69. So I was disappointed, because I'm like, this is supposed to be the easy one. And realistically, the material is not difficult. It's just that it's random and not comprehensive, and none of it has anything to do with anything that I do in my life. So for me, it's just hard to keep that information in long enough. So I failed it. And then I took it again. Like, how long did I wait? I don't know. Right after the wedding, I think I took it again. And I got a 70. And I was like, I mean, at this point, like, what are y'all telling me? I went from a 68 to a 69 to a 70. But that is when I read the book Atomic Habits, and he talks about incremental change and little tiny increases and how important they are in the aggregate. So I felt really encouraged. So I said, if I can just increase it again, I'll eventually get there. Even if it goes from a 70 to a 71, like, yes, this is expensive and it's time consuming and it's a grueling process, but I know in the end I'm going to be a CPA. And so I took it again right before busy season this year in January. And so I checked my scores this morning and I got a 77. Or did I get a 79? I got a 79. Yeah, I got a 79. So, yeah, that's really good news, because that had been so difficult to pass. It was just like, I don't know why I was struggling with it, but I just was. So really grateful to have that out of my way. Now I just have to retake audit and regulation. Audit didn't change that much since the first time I saw it in 2016, but I know reg, because of all this new tax reform stuff, reg is going to be a little different, but I mean, I'm going to pass. So I would just say all this to say, yeah, it's not in vain when you do take an exam. If you don't end up passing, it's not in vain. You're like, how I ended up thinking about it was, if I went in there not really prepared, because I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't. I went in there very unprepared for FAR, and I still got a 58. A 58 sounds really low. You need a 75 to pass, but a 58 also means that I knew more than half of the information. And I don't even need to know all of it. I just need to know 3/4 of it. So if I knew more than half, I'm only 25% away from passing. Like, not even 25, 23%. I think that's what I feel. But basically, you just have to find the silver lining and just say, like, you know what? Even if you get a 20, that's telling. But even if you do, you'll know, like, okay, I know 20% of the material. I need to get back in there. I know what my strengths are. I know what my weaknesses are. And you just keep going. And that really helped me. So no matter what your score is, if your goal is to be a CPA, don't stop until you're a CPA. That's really just it. There really isn't that much more to say. Just have to make up in your mind, like, I'm going to continue to do this until I'm done, no matter how many times. I was so inspired and still continue to seek inspiration from Get Up 10 by Cardi B, because there's a line in the song that says, man, I said we gonna win, held me down 9 times, but I get up 10. And that is a word. That is a word. If I have to take this exam 10 times, which I have officially said about 10 times, I think it's been about 10 times. Listen, if I fail 10 times, I'm coming back on the 11th time. Like, what's good? I'm here. I'm here again. I'm here. Sure am. So just stay encouraged. Stay the course. And don't give up. That's my best advice to anybody who's on any type of journey, CPA or otherwise, no matter what you're studying for. Don't let other people tell you that you can't do it. If you know deep down in your heart that you're going to be a CPA, or you're going to be a nurse, or you're going to be an attorney, whatever it is that you're studying for, you got this. What? Like, it's hard? No, it is hard, but keep going. And tell me about your stories. I want to hear from you. How has your journey been? Has it been hell? Let's link up, because mine has been hell too. So yeah, let's do this. Okay, bye.